Good morning, and welcome to this quick pop-up LinkedIn Live. For about the next 10 minutes, I'm going to talk about how to use your bottom talents, your non-patterns, with intention. If you don't know me, I'm Jeff Coleman. I'm an executive and leadership development coach, and I have over 33 decades of leadership and leadership development experience in both the Army and in corporate America. And so today I want to talk a little bit about something that most leaders don't like to talk about. It's the things that we don't do well. And one of the reasons we don't like to talk about those is because as leaders, we feel like we have to know everything or be better than everybody at everything. And we really have to kind of take on any task that's not being done. And hopefully over the next few minutes, I can show you how that's actually the kind of the worst thing that you can do is just to sort of power through it. So first, let me define what is a non-pattern. So when we look at what is a strength? So Gallup strengths, the Gallup Strengths Finder classifies a strength as a naturally occurring thought pattern or behavior. One of the examples I like to use is writing your name with a pen. So if I asked you to pick up a pen and didn't tell you anything else, you would pick it up with whatever your natural writing hand is. You would write your name out. It would be effortless. You would do it really well, and you probably wouldn't even really think about it. That's what it feels like when you're doing a strength. If you're high analytical, when you're given a task, you're immediately probably going to jump to a bunch of numbers. You're going to want to crunch numbers, look at a spreadsheet, and figure out how do we get things done. If you're highly relational, the first thing that you may want to do, pull in your core team, because that's how you always solve problems. You do it in a group with people, and you really love to work that way. That's what a strength looks like. Now, the opposite of something that's natural isn't really weak. It's something that's not natural. So think about picking up the pen with the opposite hand, the one that you don't normally write with. How would that feel? It would probably feel awkward. You would have to think about it. It probably would not look very good. So you'd have very, very limited effectiveness with it. And so that's what it feels like when you're doing something that's not a non-pattern. If you are not very analytical, you like to use your gut to make decisions, being forced to analyze a bunch of numbers may just drain you. It may feel like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm having to do it. Or if you're a person who your happy place is to go to a spreadsheet and to crunch a bunch of numbers and you don't really want to talk to people, then sitting in meetings, probably very draining for you as well. So, but these are all indicators that you are probably operating in a non-pattern, something that you don't do well. And in the Clifton Strengths Assessment, it's typically your bottom 10 or so. Now, why do these matter? Well, they matter because if all you try to do is just power through it, just gut through these non-patterns, then they're going to cost you. And what they're going to cost you is, number one, energy. It's going to be draining. It's going to cost you inconsistency. You may be able to do something on occasion well, but it's not going to be easy or effortless, and you're likely to be very inconsistent with your performance in it. And number three, effectiveness. You're not going to be very effective in it, no matter how hard you try. And you may have even witnessed this before, where you see someone do something that deep down you're really not very good at. It's a non-pattern for you. And it just seems so effortless. It almost seems unfair that they're able to do it. That's because they're operating in a strength and you're operating in a non-pattern. So that's another thing that it costs you is effectiveness. So once you've identified what your non-patterns are, or that you're operating in a non-pattern, what do you do with that? Well, in coaching, we say there's three options. Number one is to just stop, right? It seems obvious, but it oftentimes isn't. Just stop what you're doing. An example I read in a book one time was someone was writing a report and it was super draining to them. They really felt like no one was paying attention. And so they talked to their supervisor and got permission to just stop writing that report. And the test was, if for the next month or 2 months, if no one complained, then they would just stop doing that report. And it turned out that over the course of time, no one complained, no one asked about the report, and so they just were able to stop doing it. From the strengths example, let's say you have low discipline, so you don't operate well with a very rigid structure, with your days being rigidly structured. You like to be, then stop forcing yourself into all the influencers' habits of blocking your time and scheduling your time in 15-minute blocks. Just stop doing that if you don't have to do it. Now, if you can't stop a task, stop doing something that you're not good at. The second thing you can do is you can delegate it. And oftentimes we don't even think about that. We just think as leaders, I have to get this done. But oftentimes you'll find that on your team, there's actually someone who could do that task and it would energize them. This is one of the reasons it's very important for you to understand your team and your team's strengths and who does what well. So if you are, if you say have low consistency, which means you maybe don't intuitively just make everything fair. You may be more focused on achieving results. And so enforcing standards may not be the best thing for you, in which case delegate that to someone. Find someone on your team that they're kind of the standards guru and they love to sort of enforce standards. Give that task to them. One of the things that we oftentimes do in our team building workshops is we'll put up a performance grid and we'll have everyone rate their top 15 tasks that they have to do. And we ask them, rate yourself on how effective it is, how effective you are at this task, and also how energizing or draining is this task. And a lot of times it's very eye-opening because we see that while some people may be performing well at tasks, it's really draining them. And a lot of times other people will say, you know, that's a task that I would actually enjoy doing. And so sometimes all you have to do is rearrange the tasks on your team, delegate it to different people. And you may have the same exact tasks for the same exact team, but now that they're reorganized a little bit, people are now doing tasks which align with their strengths versus doing tasks which are non-patterns and are draining to them. You may completely change the energy, the performance of that team. I've seen complete turnaround simply by adjusting what everyone is doing. Now, if you can't stop doing the task and you can't delegate the task, then really the third thing that you do, if you have to do it for whatever reason, as a leader, you need to kind of rethink the task. In coaching, we normally call this reframing the task. And what do I mean by that? So sometimes it's taking a task that you have to do and just doing it in a different way. As an example, one of the Clifton strengths is winning others over. It tends to be someone who's naturally good at networking. They enjoy networking. They enjoy meeting lots of new people. Now, if that's not you, and I know for me personally, that's not me, and you have to do that, you have to go to a networking event, how would you reframe that? Well, let's say you have high competition. Simply turn it into a little bit of a game. If you have a partner or someone you're going there with, say, listen, in the next hour, I bet I can get more business cards than you can. Boom. Now, all of a sudden, you still may feel awkward going up and introducing yourself to people, but now there's something else that's energizing you. It's that desire for competition. You can even make, hey, I'll bet you a cup of coffee on this, that I can get more than you can, or that I can meet more people, or I'll talk to more companies than you do. So turning it into a competition, just reframing what you're doing can completely change sort of how you view that. Maybe if you're high in relator, look for someone that you actually know. Go and make it your goal to talk to two people that you already know and to get to know them better. If you're high analytical, maybe what you want to do is before the networking event, research some of the companies, learn a little bit about them. And then when you walk up, all you have to do is just ask a bunch of really pertinent, insightful questions about the company. Hey, how do you guys do this? And what about that? How would you do this? And then it's not nearly as awkward because you actually know something about their company. So again, this is just an idea of a couple of different ways how you could reframe a task. And this is one of the things that a coach can really help you understand how to reframe these things. Now, you're still in the same environment. You have the same exact task, but a completely different energy. Now, at the end of that networking, you actually may be energized versus coming away completely drained. So I hope you've enjoyed this pop-up LinkedIn Live on how to use your bottom talents with intention. Again, just to recap, once you identify that you're operating in a non-pattern, you can either, number one, stop doing the task. Number two, delegate it to someone on your team, preferably someone who's really good at that or who that is a strength of theirs. Or number three, rethink or reframe that problem in a way where you can leverage the strengths and the talents that you do have. Now, if you would like a full strengths review for either you or for your team, or you would like some help sort of helping to maybe repackage how your team does tasks, I would love to help. Please reach out and let's connect and let's see if there's some way that I can help you. Hope you enjoyed this live video and hope you have a great day.